Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. All right, Ben, this looks oddly suspicious. Like, we've done a review of this. What's going on?
Science, Greg. Science is going on
On
tonight
the Bourbon Note.
On the Bourbon Note. We do occasionally do science experiments
We
here
do.
on the Bourbon
Like,
Note.
does bourbon taste different if you're outside?
It does.
Stuff like that.
So, this bottle, yes, we have done a review. This is the Bardstown Bourbon Company Fusion Series, 3, I think?
I don't remember.
Yes, Fusion Series 3.
I have a different blend. And,
Right.
And we'll throw, right here, we're going to drop a picture.
So this is a blended bourbon, and it's blended out of 3 different bourbons.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's probably on the screen right now, but 40% of it is a 13-year Kentucky, 18% is 3-year Bardstown's own juice, and 42% is 3-year Bardstown own juice, but they're different mash bills, and I won't read the mash bills
Yeah,
out,
you can see them on the screen. It's easier than trying to listen to us.
So the point is,
Yeah, so what are we doing with this?
if you watch our channel on the regular, you know there's something called the Benny Walker Special, as Greg has dubbed it aptly.
Yeah, I called it. Like at the end of every review where we do a flight, Ben started, and now we both do it. He saves a little bit, blends them all together. We make a blend of whatever we're kind of the flight.
Just to see how
sometimes
it is.
it makes sense. Sometimes it totally doesn't make sense.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Exactly.
So we decided, what happens if you take an already blended whiskey
By a master blender.
and unblend it
Yeah, exactly.
and taste each whiskey on its own?
Yeah, so we're gonna break this down into 3 parts because it's a 3-part blend.
Yep,
And so try them individually.
here's the most logical way I could think of doing this.
Okay.
The way that they're listed, and maybe I'll put the picture again.
Sure.
The top one is the 13-year, the middle one is the 3-year, and the bottom one is the other 3-year. So why don't we do on both of our rights, will be the top one.
Okay.
So pour a little bit of that bad boy.
Okay.
We're gonna have to alternate here, so we're pouring the same portion.
Correct. I'll let you do
Okay,
that.
so now we've got the top one. Now this is a good one on its own anyway.
Okay, so next up was the...
The middle 3-year. There's 2 3-year ones.
Correct. But this is only the 18%.
Yep. So what happens when you unblend a whiskey?
And
Taste them individually.
yeah, and enjoy the flavor notes and the bourbon notes, of the different blends. There's different mash
Okay,
bills.
now that we're at the end, I'm gonna fill mine, and then we'll go back to you.
That makes sense. This is the 42%, I believe, is what this
Yes.
one was.
So this first one should be the 13-year, which should be outstanding. I mean, a 13-year.
Extra age is always appreciated. Can I have
Yeah.
the bourbon hat?
Yeah, put its hat back on. All right, I'm gonna nose these individually as I tend to when we do a flight.
So
Before
Bardstown
sampling them.
seems to be like the greatest city in the world, if you're a bourbon fan.
Yeah, there's a lot of
if you've
bourbon
seen
there.
pictures, it is like the cutest, most just amazing city. I look forward to visiting soon.
Yes, absolutely. Not noticing a lot of nuance on these, actually.
I got to catch up. I was talking.
So,
that was
while
kinda brown
the other
sugary.
2, there's different percentages of them. Both of these, there's 2 of these that are both maybe a different mash bill. Yeah, different mash bill, but both
caramel.
3-year from Bardstown.
Okay.
This one should be the standout because this is the 13-year from Kentucky, so wherever that was sourced.
Yeah.
Bardstown is in Kentucky, but it just says Kentucky in general. So
Maybe a different distiller. I mean, it
could be anywhere.
Could come from Four Roses or any of them. Who knows? I think all of the
Does
big
it say a
distilleries.
mash bill for that one? Only 18% rye, so it's, God, who knows? I mean, that could be like an Old Forester
Yeah, right.
but it doesn't, I'm an Old Forester truffle pig, and I'm not getting that.
Not getting that. It's definitely not Four Roses. I don't think they don't do.
No, that's
18%.
way too low rye for Four Roses. Well, let's go in for the
right.
first one here. Cheers.
Boy, I can absolutely get the age. I think there's some quality on this.
Yeah, it's really good.
This is a nice bourbon.
It's got some nice corn notes to it.
I'm getting the most prominent thing is actually the texture. It's got a real density to it, which is nice. I associate that with the age.
And that was, well, 48, is that 48? I can't read. 40.
Yeah, 40, I think was the top one.
It might be 46.
That's okay. Well, the people saw the zoomed in picture.
Yeah, nope, 40. Okay. So 40% of this whole blend is the 13 years. That's going to impart a lot of influence.
Sure.
So let's go on to the next one.
Okay, this is only 18%, so it's
18% of the blend is this. It's a 3-year whiskey. So I wonder if there's going to be a noticeable drop-off.
Okay. Yeah, still brown sugary.
Very brown sugary on both of them so far on the nose.
Yeah.
Let's go for it here.
Boy, that drink's like a well-aged 3-year.
It does. I was going to say, it really,
all.
it holds up to the, surprisingly, that holds up to the 13-year.
It does.
Interesting.
I wonder what's unique about that mash bill, because that drink's better than most 3-year type bourbons that we drink.
I would say right off the bat, having not even got to the other 3-year one, if you can get this kind of flavor out of 3 years,
Kidding.
just bottle this up on its own.
I totally agree. That is awesome.
I mean, I would pay upwards of like $50-$60 for a
And I don't remember.
Like that.
Aren't these like $50?
Yeah, 50 to 60.
Okay, in that range. I don't see them a lot around here. I picked up one bottle. It's a different blend and mash bill and so on, but it was in Wisconsin.
You didn't like that one as much as this one.
Not as much. I think your blend is a little bit better. So if this really works out and we really see a distinction, we could do an unblending of the 5 blend that I have.
Yeah. All right. Going into the other 3-year one.
Yeah.
This one is 42% of the
Did we know
blend.
if this is high rye? I can't read that, so.
36% rye.
Okay.
The other 3-year is 20% rye.
Okay, so you.
So
well,
this is good. This is a high rye banger.
high rye. So I expect some real, but it's only 3 years, so who knows? So I'm gonna go for it.
Sometimes that high rye can really pack the
Yeah,
punch.
still brown sugary though.
Yeah, it really is. That seems to be the dominant. It's oaky and brown sugary.
It does have some nice barrel notes.
It does, but I kind of feel like all of these have had nice barrel char notes.
Some
to them.
similarities.
Yeah.
Like in some ways, I kind of understand what the master blender was doing, because
Yeah.
it's a good mix of 3 that kind of are very similar.
Yeah, I think. I'm gonna get one more taste of this one here,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
but. Boy, I think either, like any of these 3 could really hold their own.
Well, we've done a review of this bottle and we liked it.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, just the 3 separately, each individually, I don't even know that you had to blend these 3.
Right.
Like, I think each one of them on their own
Yeah.
is really good. And they all pack very similar notes. Like, the well-aged one is not the standout here,
surprisingly.
surprisingly enough. So, yeah, I mean,
So now the question is, are you going to do the Benny Walker special?
well, yeah, we have to re-blend them, and then we'll just... Because you know what we didn't do? We didn't have a pour of just this on its own
the
before we unblended it.
Okay, so
we should blend it back together.
Gotcha.
And then taste it to see what we really should have done the original one first.
No, I like this direction back. You know, I notice you always go like toward the bottle, and I always go to the middle.
Oh, interesting. But I mean, I feel like
It's not that interesting.
for actual science,
Yeah.
we should have done a control specimen of the original blend,
but we did.
the
We've done it.
unblend. But now we did the unblend, and now we're going back to the original
It's a
blend.
circle
So
of life, or
Yeah.
kumbaya. Or
either way,
whatever
we're
it
getting
is.
both. I'm going to really get this, you want them all to marry properly.
Didn't know that was a verb. Well, actually, I did know that was a verb. My wife would be angry if she heard me say that.
She watches all these videos.
She does. What do you mean you didn't know that was a verb?
My wife doesn't watch these videos, so I can say damn near anything. She has yet to see an episode of the Bourbon Note.
Really?
I mean, she's seen,
Sure.
that poor woman has to hear more about bourbon in her life than she ever wanted to know.
Well, that's,
just from me yapping about it. She doesn't need to go on the internet to see me talking about bourbon. She lives in this house where I did this with our bar in the basement.
Exactly.
All right, I think this is properly blended back
Okay.
together. So here's the Bardstown Fusion
This is
Series
the way
3.
they intended it to be.
Yeah.
Boy, that's really good. I like that a ton. But I have to tell you, it's still brown sugary.
Yeah, really good brown sugar and oak
Good,
notes.
solid age maturity. Like you could not. It would be hard for you to convince me that the majority of this is 3 years.
Yeah.
That 13 years totally comes across.
I'm kind of at a loss here because I don't really know what to say. Like, I don't really know how to separate those other three because you would think there would have been such a difference between the 13-year and the 2. I expected the 2 3 years to be similar. Different rye percentage, but similar enough. But honestly, they really kind of came across all very similar, and the blend is very similar.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you could just release each 3 on their own.
Yeah, right. Like
And have 3 different bourbons because they obviously taste very similar.
Do you think it's a gimmick?
It might be.
Maybe it's a gimmick.
That's weird. I don't know. I don't know if I appreciate gimmicks so much.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of like flavored bourbons and holiday like tie-in or celebrity bourbons, and maybe this is just a gimmick.
I do kind of feel like if you resort to a gimmick, you might be running out of creative ideas.
No, there's plenty of creative ideas even if you rely on a gimmick.
Really?
Yeah, I totally think so.
Interesting. Well, let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, well, I think this is really good. All around, I've had a great experience drinking all 3 of these alone and blended together.
And if you've had a blended type bourbon, or maybe even like a scotch or something, unblend it and let us know what you think of the individual constituent parts.
Yeah, if you specifically have this one, since we just unblended this one, let us know exactly what you get out of that. So, all right, well, do you have anything else to say about this one?
I think we've said enough. I like it a ton.
All right, well, this has been Science on the Bourbon Note. I'm Ben.
I'm Greg. Till next time. See you next time.